Hello and welcome to the War Room. I am so excited to bring this edition. It's early in the season, but we have head coach of the women's volleyball program here at SAGU, Coach Hank Moore, with us. And this is the War Room, Hank. It's where we talk X's and O's and some strategies for success. And that's what we're going to quiz you about today, okay? But before we get into that, how you doing?
Doing great.
Okay.
Doing great.
Good. You
Doing
look
great.
good.
I
You look
feel
good.
good.
You look healthy. Really slimmed down. I mean, I'm impressed. I'm a little embarrassed to be on camera with you as slim as you are.
And the camera's
fat as I
slimming.
am.
If you wear black, it makes you even trimmer.
Yeah. But I want to get a little icebreaker before we get into the X's and O's of things. What's your favorite moment so far in this season? I know you've only been here a few weeks, but give me the favorite moment.
Probably for me, John, my favorite moment came when we were playing Corbin, who at that time was ranked number 7 in the country.
Okay.
And we're in a 5th set, and Corbin's coach calls it her last time out, and we're ahead 14-13. And we're able to draw up the offensive play we think they're going to run all the way to they're going to set a specific player, their great outside hitter. And we drew it up. We served the ball. They ran the exact play we drew. They set the player. And our 6'1" middle blocker, Emma Tompkins, was in perfect position. The girls swang. And Emma put the ball straight down on the floor with a great block, and that's how that set ended. That's how that match ended.
Wow.
For me, that was probably my greatest memory so far.
Mm-hmm. That I wish I could have seen that here in the Schaefer Center. The 5th set only goes to 15. Maybe we need to say that to some of Lions Nation, just to let them know. The other 4 sets go to 25, and that's why you win at 15.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I mean, what a start. We're going to get into that. But I want you to first, we're in the Sooner Athletic Conference, so let's just quickly talk. What does the conference look like this year? And maybe contrast it to last year, because this week you've got a game coming up, and we'll promo that in just a minute, but there's a ring ceremony.
Yes, sir. It's 7 o'clock Friday night. We'll have our
And what's the ring ceremony for?
Last year, our girls won the conference tournament and won a conference championship, which also gave them an automatic bid for the first time to the NAIA National Tournament.
And there you go. So the Sooner Athletic Conference champions, you get in rings for that.
Yep.
Tell us, what does the landscape of the Sooner Athletic Conference look like?
The landscape looks really good. Texas Wesleyan University last year, they were ranked number 1 all year long. They did lose in the conference tournament, but they still won an automatic bid to the national tournament and did real well. Mm-hmm. Right now, SAGU is ranked number 1 by all the coaches' preseason poll. We were ranked number 1 in the conference. Texas Wesleyan's 2. Wesleyan lost a lot of key components to their team from last year, but Jess does a great job recruiting, and she's going to replace those players with some great athletes. And some of them we know are very good athletes because we recruited them as well. Mm-hmm. But then the number 3 team in the conference is Oklahoma City University. Historically, OCU is always very, very good. 4th in the preseason poll was Wayland Baptist. However, this week there's been a shift. John Brown University gets 2 top 25 wins last weekend. Now, they did lose one to a team that's going to drop a little bit in the polls, but John Brown replaces Wayland. They lost to Evangel University.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That was their only loss on the season so far.
Our sister school, Evangel. How are they doing? I noticed you were just in San Antonio with Evangel, right?
Well, Evangel was there the weekend before us.
Oh, okay.
They hosted 2 weekends in a row. Evangel right now got off to a pretty rough start. They've had 3 losses that have hurt them in rankings, but playing at a high level, they're always going to be very good. They've got a great coach. Mary's been there a long time, and she does a wonderful job with that team.
Who else in the Sooner Athletic Conference are we got to look out for?
Yeah, well, really the top 8 teams are going to be very good. We look every one of those teams in the Sooner. The last 2 weeks have gotten off to great starts. Teams that like OPSU, they're 7-1. They've got a great start.
They've been getting really tough over the last couple of years.
They're playing a tough schedule. Wayland Baptist is 0-4, but they went out west and played in a very, very tough tournament. The tournament that they played in, 3 of the teams they played are top 20 teams. And so that you got to look at that 0-4. But who they play matters, and it's helping. It'll help our whole conference in the end.
Okay.
Everybody plays early. We play a national schedule so that the Sooner Athletic Conference can be seen nationally. And I think our teams represented extremely well these last 2 weeks.
So how do you assess SAGU in that mix? Do you feel like you deserve the number 1 spot, or are you still kind of a little bit of anxiousness about how it's going to play out?
Yeah. No, I think our conference, especially those top 8 schools, are all going to be very good. I think that we deserve the number 1 ranking.
Okay.
We return of our rotation. We return 7 of our 10 that were in the rotation.
Yeah.
And we've replaced 2 of those girls with players that in our assessment are as good or better.
Okay.
So I felt
are they transfers or
2, yes, those 2 are transfers.
Okay. So you're getting some experience with
yes.
your upgrade.
We got a tremendous defensive specialist in Lindy Bowling, and we got a great middle blocker in Karina Tipton. We went from 5'10" middle to a 6'3" middle. So you've really grown in that area. So I feel like that helps us. I do believe that Texas Wesleyan is always going to be a team that on any given night can beat anybody. They're very good. The same with Oklahoma City. Wayland Baptist is going to be good. John Brown University, we return 7 of our 10. He returns 10 of his 10. So they're going to be a team that's going to beat a lot of people this year. So when we're looking at our conference schedule, we don't have very many nights where we can not rest easy, but we're going to have to play at a high level to win.
Yeah, that's kind of been I don't know if we've been 8 deep in the past too many times. So that's very very powerful analysis. Yeah. To really, and it speaks to me because we're kind of having a conversation about things now because we start with a home opener on Friday and Saturday. I will be calling that game, so I need to know a lot of this. And
when you're looking at our opponent on Friday night, it's Langston University. Langston they're 5-1 right now, and they played a pretty decent preseason schedule as well. So they're going to be good. They're going to be very athletic, very athletic.
Okay,
group.
so can't take a night off. You got to mentally and physically bring it.
Yes,
this weekend, that is very, very exciting. Since we're there Friday night. 7 p.m., there is going to be a ring ceremony, quickly done, and then we're going to get to volleyball action against Langston.
Correct.
And then Saturday at 1 p.m. From Kansas, from McPherson, Kansas, Central Christian College or University?
Central Christian College,
yeah. And they're in the Sooner Athletic. So that both games are going to be conference matches, very, very important to the scheme of things. I mean, I guess all games are important, but in the grand scheme of things for the conference to get another ring, you can't drop ones that I think if you're number 1 and you're looking historically, these are not games that you be able to forgive yourself if you look back and you lose these, right? These are supposed to win. You're supposed to win.
When you look at our schedule, the rest of our schedule, except for one opponent, our conference matches the rest of the way. So every single match matters. And
Yeah,
if you drop
absolutely.
one, it'll have an impact on
So
you.
we appeal to Lions Nation, come to the Schaefer Center.
Yeah, pack that place out.
Pack it out. You are the seventh man on the floor. Is that a thing?
That's fair. That's fair.
You know, there's six players on the floor.
6 players on the floor.
So in basketball,
Yeah.
it's the sixth man.
Yeah.
Football is the 12th man, I guess.
Yeah,
So-
we'll take a seventh man, and we have the best home crowd of any team in our conference.
Not only are you trying to protect the reputation of being the reigning champs, but you're 8-0. 8-0. If my fact checkers, James Lex and his crew, are correct, now you can verify this. First time ever, 8-0.
First time ever, 8-0. Yep, we
Wow.
were 7-1 in 2017.
Yeah.
But 8-1 is the best record. The exciting thing about being 8-0 at this point, we still don't think we've played to the level that we're capable of playing.
Yeah.
We're winning, but we're still nowhere near where we need to be and where we think we can be. So it's exciting.
So that's going to be a great segue to the next point or my next question. When you look at the stat sheet, let me pose it like this. I looked at the stat sheet before I looked at the score. It looked like you lost in maybe 3 or 4 of the matches. Yeah. Hitting percentage, there's a lot of key stats you look at. Oh boy, we took a loss there. Now look at the score and we won.
Yeah.
How? How are you doing that?
A lot of that you do with guts. Our kids just play so hard. Mm-hmm. Our defense has kept us in every match that we've played. And you're right, statistically, offensively, we've lost 4 of those matches statistically. But if you look at serving aces, we've won those matches. You look at digs per set, we've won those matches. And even blocks per set, we've won, I think, 3 of those 4. We outblocked everybody that we played. But the way you win that is our girls have found a way to step up and win. Mm-hmm. An example of that is if you look at the Westcliff game that we played just this past weekend out of California.
Yes.
Probably, and this is the I personality coming out a little bit, probably the best collegiate volleyball match I've ever been a part of.
Really?
If you look at that, the first set, we win 25-13, but the second set, we got shellacked.
Yeah.
But third set, very, very close. We came back and won the fourth set, 25-13. We won the fifth set, 15-13. But if you do a total points scored, Westcliff scored 109 points. We scored 109 points. The difference is at key times, we got the dig that we needed, we got the block we needed, or we got the ace that we needed. Other teams missing serves at key times. Our kids have just found ways to win.
You and I texted about that. You said it was 218. I said, no, it was 220. Yeah. You had to win by 2.
Yeah.
Explain that. What do you mean? Yeah. You both couldn't have scored 109 points because you had to win. Somebody had to win.
Well, you have to win each set by 2.
Yeah.
So when you look at the set scores, we won the first set by 2, but we lost the second set by I think it was 25-22 or 25-21.
That makes sense, yeah.
And then the rest of the sets were 2-point spreads, but when you total all
except for the second game.
When you total them all together, it was 109 to 109.
I watched that game.
It was a great match.
And we kind of tongue in cheek said, is it true we can only win the first, fourth, and fifth sets of a match? I mean, it just kind of seems like that. Yeah. Obviously, as I said, you look at the stats and sometimes you go, how do we win that? Or it doesn't look like we possibly could have won that. Breaking news right now for the first time. Yeah. For the first time, I'm going to break some headline news. Right before we came in here, the new rankings have come out. You're ranked number 13. Number 13?
Yeah, number 13.
First time in the top 15 ever?
First time in the top 15 ever.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you. Very proud of our kids.
And to the kids.
Yeah, but the reality comes back to is there's some teams that were ranked higher than us that if I look at it, I still think we could have been even higher.
Well, you've already beat Corbin. Well, we talked about the Corbin match. They were ranked 7th preseason.
And now they're ranked 5.
Went to 5th.
Yeah, they moved
with
from the loss to us. Yeah.
So you could look at that, scratch your head, okay, how does that happen? Or you're getting so much respect now that that loss is not considered a bad loss.
No, that's true. When you look at Corbin, they went from 7 to 5 with a loss from what was ranked number 23. But they beat number 3, number 5. So they had some significant wins that propelled them. They're a great, great program. Every single position, they're very, very good. So when we're looking at a national ranking, we know that this is a coaches poll, and there's going to be some things in there. But like number 1, Missouri Baptist stayed number 1, and they had a loss. They lost to Viterbo. But Viterbo had 2 losses. So you got a lot of people play significantly tough schedules at the beginning. So you're going to have some losses. We were just fortunate enough to leave those 2 tough tournaments with no losses.
Wow.
And so that's a blessing.
Yeah,
and
man.
you just got to keep
that's
winning.
Huge. And you attribute that just previously to the previous point, defense.
Yeah, defense is everything in volleyball.
Is this the best defense you've had? I know it's early. I know I'm not asking you to put a nail in it on this, but do you feel this early, what you've seen so far, is this the best defense?
I think to be where we are this early, I'd say this group is playing at a level we haven't played at defensively this early. I don't know that it's the very best defensive team we've ever had, but I think it's right there.
But they
with
could
them.
be.
They could be, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, they're on the
Everybody's
right track.
buying into their role from a defensive scheme.
Is it better defensive practice, or is it you're just recruiting better defense?
The practice schedules, our practice routine is basically still the same. We tweaked it a little bit. We've added a couple. Yesterday, for instance, we set in a drill, 6-minute drill of constant down balls at defensive players and try to transition that defense into an offense. That's a drill that Nick brought into practice. And I saw this drill. What do you think about us doing it? We did it yesterday for 6 solid minutes. The girls were engaged. The girls were getting after it. It was a wonderful, wonderful drill.
Wow.
And the thing with it is we know that will translate from practice to games. So the great John Wooden said, what you do in practice has to translate to a game. If it doesn't translate to a game, you're spinning your wheels, you're wasting time. So I feel like we've done a good job with that. But I'm very pleased with the way the girls are playing, and we're still filling spots, trying to find out who we are and how are we going to play in November. We don't know yet. This team could look different in November. Yeah. And we're hoping that
obviously
it's significantly better. Yeah, so we're going to keep growing.
Yeah, stay healthy, and which is always a battle, always a battle. You and I are golf partners for many years. Yeah. And I get the intel on how the season's going to look, during the summer when we normally play, but we didn't play this summer. I miss that. But we got good family time. I think you and I both did a lot of family stuff this summer, which was amazing. So I don't feel quite as connected to the scouting report and the new faces. Okay. I've been watching a few of the practices. This is your 20. You're going in. You've done 24 years. You are going into your 25th year of coaching women's volleyball.
I'm in my 25th year here at SAGU.
Oh, okay, yeah.
This is my 22nd year of coaching women's volleyball.
Yeah. My bad. But you've been coaching for, really a lot longer. But 22 years, women's volleyball. You're a football guy.
Yeah.
How did you get into women's coaching women's volleyball?
Started coaching women's volleyball after I graduated from college and moved to Waxahachie. Started playing in different church league volleyball, and then started playing with the men's team and learned the game that way. And when I was administrator at Cornerstone Christian School, I couldn't find a volleyball coach. So I just told my wife, hey, I'll coach them 1 year, and then we'll find a coach. And so I fell in love with coaching volleyball. I coached basketball, played football through college, but volleyball was a sport that I just loved, the intricacies of moving pieces around, and it was so intriguing, so inviting to just learn more. And when I came here, I came as athletics director and did that for 2 years, and then felt a shift that I was supposed to do something different. And when they came to me and asked me if I would think about praying about doing the volleyball program, went home and talked to Lori, and I told her, I said, this is what we're supposed to do. And so we took volleyball. It's crazy because it was 2001. That was also the first year that they switched to rally scoring from the old volleyball where you had to be serving to get a point. Well, the rally scoring came in, so everybody was on the same level of learning how rally scoring would impact the game of volleyball. Right. And so I fell in love with it, and it's been very, very good, and we've been able to do some really significant things with volleyball, not just here, but also through club and just a lot of relationships. And coaching women's volleyball, it's unbelievable. It's been a great career.
Yeah. It has. I can see that. I think everyone can testify that when they watch you coach, it's different. It's a different experience. You bring much more than coaching. You're a great coach, but you're a mentor. We call you pastor sometimes because you care in a deep way about not just learning how to win at a game, but learning how to win not just at life, but at the spiritual development. And those things, especially here at SAGU, are at the top of the priority list. And you check all those boxes. I think that's why you've been here so long, because you, the institution, and the family that you build with the young ladies is just legacy in action, and you've inspired me in many applications.
When we're looking at what we do, and I believe it's a life calling. You know, God has a plan for every one of us. Yeah. And a lot of our life we spend trying to find God's will when He's already laid it out. And so you pursue God's will, and then when you find an institution that has the same mission as yourself, and you can tie that together with what you're doing. Volleyball is a great game, but it's a game. Yeah. And the way that I view it, my number one priority for my players is not volleyball related, but it's their spiritual development. Yeah. And if we can help them grow in their walk with Christ, I think it makes them better students, it makes them better friends. I'm at a phase in my career where I'm looking at a lot of my former players, and they're bringing their children to the gym for us to see them. And I take great pride in looking at those girls. They were former players, but now they're great wives, they're great mothers, and they're making impacts. And a lot of them are coaching and doing all of those same things.
Speaking of one of the most recent great wives, great mothers, great player from not so old of a team, is now an assistant coach with you, Callie Shaw.
Yes, Callie, we were able to add Callie as our graduate assistant. So what that means is she's teaching during the day, she's teaching junior high science, comes and coaches here, and she's also working on her master's degree in education. Wow. So what a great addition to our staff, and it's fun to watch Callie in
She's
practices.
The consummate overachiever.
Yeah, she's done real well and got a beautiful little girl.
Yeah.
And she and Michael are
so good to see
great lives.
both of them
doing
back
wonderful.
on campus. It's great. You've done such a great job with the program here, and we all thank you. Lions Nation knows the legacy that you are leaving, and not that we're even thinking about your leaving, but it's going to be big shoes to fill, and I think it'll be an honor for whoever does that to come in and take. You're leaving something that someone can take a hold of and take even further, and that's got to feel good if you're you. And it's an honor to always be able to kind of converse with you and do things like this.
Yeah.
And talk. We're sports guys. So
Yeah.
we love this.
When we're looking at how all of this stuff plays out, the bottom line is that God puts us in places. Jensen Franklin's book, Right People, Right Place, Right Time.
Yeah.
And for me, I know I'm where I'm supposed to be, doing what I'm supposed to do, and it gives us relationships with the right people, and it's a very fulfilling life, and knowing that you're being led by the Holy Spirit to do what you're doing, and then look around and say, okay, how do you want to use me to do different things? And we feel like the Lord has been blessing us and blessing our program because we put Him first. He's the number one priority. And as we do that, we keep the first things first. All those other things are going to take care of themselves.
Right.
National rankings are exciting.
They are.
And I don't mind telling you, I'm very proud of what our kids have accomplished and what we've accomplished as a program. But I also know that there's bigger things out there that are more important, and if we miss those things, the national ranking doesn't mean anything.
It's true. Yeah. It is true. Yeah. Well, Coach, it's time to wrap it up, but thank you so much for taking the time. This won't be the last time. This is going to be a reoccurring kind of experience. Every few weeks we'll get together, rally back, see how the troops are doing, and how the season's looking. But for now, thank you so much for taking the time to tell Lions Nation about your program in the women's volleyball, the Lady Lions of SAGU. Come support them this weekend in the Schaefer Center, Friday, 7 p.m., Saturday, 1 p.m. Until then, this is John Cookman here with head coach Hank Moore. Have a great day.